going on, guys? It's Airborne 77 here, back with another reaction. I've decided to stream a little bit recently, so like go over to Airborne 27 on Twitch, link in description, and give a follow there. Possibly get on to stream. So let's begin. I don't want to waste your guys' time too much.
Asmongold gets way more views than Hasan Piker.
Well,
A lot of
yeah,
people believe
pretty
that this is
obvious why.
because of politics, left
Yeah,
versus right, but that is an extremely oversimplified
yeah,
argument.
it
Because
is
if politics alone determined whether or not they garnered large audiences,
true.
then Hasan Piker, in theory, should actually have a much larger audience than
True.
Asmongold. He is louder, way more ideological, and way more aligned with
Mhm.
mainstream cultural institutions than Asmongold, especially if it is a
Mhm.
left versus right situation. We would at least be seeing a similar size viewership on
Yep.
both channels. The reason Asmongold has so many more views actually has
The reason is because people can relate to Asmongold. Asmongold doesn't go around promoting terrorist organizations. He doesn't go around, uh, defending all kinds of criminal activity just to align with his political views. Like, I think he's just being himself. Like he's not forcing anything. He's not propagating for anything. Like, that. Like he's just saying whatever he feels like saying, basically, and people like that, including myself. Let's continue.
little to do with politics. It has everything to
Mhm.
do with how Hasan Piker and how Asmongold actually looks at situations.
True.
And more importantly, what kind of people that attracts. The real
Yep.
divide between Asmongold
Hassan Piker attracts the most radical on the leftist movement, mainly. He attracts people who are so extreme that, like, if you just disagree a little bit with him, he, like, they turn you off. They call you a Nazi, basically. When Asmongold attracts people from a bigger variety, even certain leftists, certain people from the left, because he has ideas that covers like a lot of things. He's not even that far of an alt-rightist or anything like that. That's just bullshit. Osman has some very left-leaning stance on certain things. For example, he is a very big admirer of a welfare state, for example, and stuff like that. Like, also is totally for taxing the rich more. Like, those things are absolutely not right, like, leaning stance at all. They are left leaning stance. So, like, but more traditional ones, like, so, like, he has the capacity to attract a bigger audience both from the right and the left because he's more flexible with his positions, and he's also more like he also preaches more like critical thinking, stuff like that. Like, and I think that reasons well with a lot more people.
and Hasan Piker isn't ideology versus ideology.
It's not.
It's actually ideology versus principle. Hasan
Yes.
obviously pushes a lot of ideology and supports a lot of very strong views, so
Yep.
he garners an audience that does exactly the same.
Yeah.
Hasan
The most
asks what
radicals.
should be enforced, whereas Asmongold asks what should be allowed. That single
True.
difference explains not only their arguments but also their audiences. It also helps to be very clear about where they actually sit politically. This is where Hasan Piker sits politically,
Authoritarian left,
and
yeah.
this is where Asmongold sits. So yes, Hasan
I
Piker
would say Asmongold personally. I think he sits a little bit more like here-ish, maybe, or like around here, or pretty much right in the center.
sits broadly in the middle of left-wing authoritarianism.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
position is internally consistent, but it is also concentrated. It assumes
Yep.
that if the goal is just, the use of authority is
For me, he sits a
justified.
little,
And that
even a
assumption
little bit more.
naturally narrows the range of people who feel comfortable or at home in that space.
Absolutely.
Asmongold sits much closer to the center.
He
I
sits
would
at the
say that he
center.
used to be a lot more left liberal thinking, but the line it's
He still is. He still has a lot of left-leaning stance, like of traditional left-leaning stance. It's just that the modern left is different. Like they have abandoned a lot of these, ideas that like the old school left actually stood up for. For example, they don't talk nearly as much about class anymore, and that is something that Asmongold absolutely has done before. He has talked about taxing the rich, for example. He has talked about wanting healthcare for everyone, like through a welfare system, for example, and etc. etc. So like, yeah, no, I think it's totally like a misrepresentation to describe him as an alt-right person, because he absolutely is not. He has just because someone is against immigration doesn't mean that they are, or per se like immigration of people who cannot sustain themselves does not mean that you are actually a a person on the right. It doesn't mean that at all, believe it or not.
Self has actually moved quite a lot.
Hmm.
Asmongold is not fixed in one ideological
No,
quadrant,
and I like
same as
him for
Hassan
that.
Piker. Asmongold is not loyal to any one
Good.
political lane.
You
He
shouldn't be.
actually pulls from all four directions. It's important
Yes,
to note that your average dude,
that's
your
how you
layman,
should
guys
be.
like me who have a family, who work hard, who just want to provide for their wife and
Hmm.
kids, we as the quieter demographic don't lean hard one ideological way. A
True.
lot of us use common sense, we come to conclusions on our own,
Yep.
and we do the wise thing of fence sitting on an issue until we know what the policy is and whether or not it aligns with our values. There
Of course, and people who does that are totally normal. That's a total rational thing to do because you don't if you don't know enough about a topic, of course you should educate yourself. Like what are we talking about? It's pretty obvious.
are a lot of us in this world, but you don't really see us online because we are quiet. How do you
Hmm.
think a lot of these channels get so many views, but don't really get that much engagement in the sense of comments and likes? Because people like me just want to watch and move on.
Yeah,
I would say that there are a lot
true.
less ideologically driven people in real life than there are on the internet.
Of
The
course,
internet
that's
is
a
simply
fact.
a hyperbole of a very small amount of people that actually exist in this world. There
And
are
a lot of these people exist inside of echo chambers, such as Hassan's audience, for example. It's absolutely the case. Absolutely, 100%.
few videos I kind of want to look at about this situation, and I kind of want to explain from my perspective why I, as someone who's just an average Asmongold enjoyer, why would I,
Hmm?
among millions of people, actually watch this guy and hear his takes on politics, gaming, philosophy?
You know, I can tell you my side of this, why I like Asmongold, personally. It's because he encourages stuff like critical thinking. He also wants people to actually not just take his words for things and just like embolden themselves, get more perspective on things, watch others as well, and like try to form your own opinions. That's like, and he also isn't afraid of saying whatever he feels like saying. Like a lot of people nowadays are afraid of saying certain things due to backlash or other kind of stuff. He is not, and he's someone you should look up to if you actually want a free world. You need to like start high raising voices like him up more than like tearing them down because critical thinking is a skill that is on the decline right now in the Western world, which is bad, which is very bad. Uh, we need to do something about it, and the way to do something about it is education. Like educate people through free media and stuff like that. So like yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory why he's getting more audience because he appeals to the silent masses more.
And everything he kind of does.
You hate that he's better than you, Lemafayao? Brother, that's a self-report more than anything else that you could
Uh
have
huh.
possibly said. Please go up to any normal person in the real world and present both of us in any commentary, shape, or form
Uh huh.
and admit to people in the real world, maybe your family members, that one is better than the other.
Uh huh.
Okay? Do the bus driver test. Just watch the way people
Dude,
watch the way
this
people
guy is
exist.
so
Asmongold
insufferable.
encourages thought and critical
Yes.
thinking, whereas Hassan Piker tells you what to
Perfect.
think, and you
Perfect.
cannot go against
That's
his
basically what I
narrative.
said,
I
but yeah,
can't believe that Hassan
he's
Piker
right.
actually believes this. I think Hassan's views are maybe more physical,
He's more of a
but if you
guru
actually list
type.
out their
Yeah.
policies and what they believe and bring that to people, if you stick the two of them side by side each
Mhm.
other and ask your average person, who do you want to follow? Who do you agree with the most? Your
I think it's
average
Asmongold.
person will align themselves
Always
more
with Asmon.
with Asmongold.
I will
He's rotting
always,
your brain
always,
the rest
always,
of his
always.
teeth. Stop letting him control your brain. If you want
100%.
to debate, dumbass, you're actually so slow. You talk about and watch Asmund so much your viewers may as well tune into his streams. They
True.
Megacope for usual. I sound a lot like you, don't I? That's
Uh
because you
huh.
got my band now. I don't think you understand. You are a creature of the internet. Okay? Your existence defies like I'm not gonna make a naturalistic argument
Oh
in
god.
usual circumstances, but your existence defies the nature of man.
Oh
Okay?
god. This guy
In
is
the absence
like.
of the internet,
Oh.
a creature such as yourself would not exist.
I don't understand Hassan Piker's
You know that if there was no internet, you wouldn't exist either, by the way. Like in the form that you are. You know that, right? Like it's not like nah, nah, hell no. Like that's such a massive own goal, dude. Like, bro, what are we doing here?
Argument here. If you are purely ideologically driven, it'll be very hard for you to integrate into real life.
This is
True.
something that I have noticed as well. A lot of these like liberal, supposedly
Mhm.
liberal content creators are shepherding their audience to find right-wing content creators like Asmongold to be more permissible.
Right-wing commentators like Asmongold, who wants a welfare state based on a Sweden-style economy. Yeah, sure, he's very right-wing, dude. Fuck you.
And better overall than someone like myself because they've designed their entire worldview around like saying fuck Hasan and Hasan is so scary. And that's the reason why you see so many of these like
Why people say fuck Hassan is pretty simple. It's because you're a radical communist who lives like a radical capitalist in a fucking $1 million mansion with like a dog of the most expensive breed and like and everything in like a gated community. You don't live like a worker, dude. You're not talking for them either. You're just a grifter, a champagne socialist who sits and talks shit on the internet. Yeah, bro. I don't think you are in a very good position to talk even ideologically because you are not even consistent with what you preach.
accounts that go along with these fucking
Uh huh.
insane narratives. That's just insane. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but like Asmongold is pro-Trump at its most base, right? At its most
Mm,
basic approach, he is
no,
pro-Trump.
He
no,
calls Asmongold a right-wing political commentator,
which he
and I don't
isn't.
understand that because
He's not.
Asmongold doesn't fully align himself right-wing, and he
No,
isn't a pure supporter of Trump and
he's
everything
not
Trump
no, no,
does.
no, no, no.
He
He has
actually
criticized him
criticizes
many times.
anything
Yeah,
that he disagrees with that Trump may or may not do.
true.
Too many
He's
people, in
he's
fact,
thinking critically. So you see, guys, you can agree with someone on some things, but you don't. That doesn't mean that you agree with that person on everything. But according to people like Hassan, that's literally the case. If you agree with Trump on like a single thing, then you agree with him. Like then you support him. Like no, that's not how it works. Sorry, that's just stupidity and and a radical way of thinking that is like absolutely destructive towards society.
looks like the entire internet has opinions without even knowing what they're really talking about.
True.
I'm an advocate of fence sitting until you know what you are talking about. You know
Based.
the
I mean,
policies that you
yeah.
want to align with. If they align with your values as a person, if they align with what
Mhm.
you believe in, there are too many people on the left and the right
Yep.
who just automatically agree with whatever policy is thrown from that side. Asmongold
And that's what Asmongold is challenging, and that's why they hate him so much. That's exactly why. Let's continue.
is good for young people because he de-radicalizes people because he gets them to think, which is the opposite to Hassan Piker.
And I love
Hassan
that.
Piker will
You know, I'm gonna say something here really quick. Asmongold is a big inspiration for me, and why I'm stepping into uh, content creation to begin with. I think we need more voices like him, and like who preaches stuff like critical thinking and and other types of like just common sense. I mean, so I think there's way too many echo chambers out there, and we need more people who could try to like prevent others from getting into them. The people who are already in them, they're kind of like they're gone. Like you're not gonna convince someone like a radical Hassan fan out of it. But what you can do is prevent new like people who are not there yet, but has a risk of getting there to prevent them from getting in there. That alone is a big win for society. Let's continue.
radicalize you by telling you what to think.
Yes,
So if you're a liberal in this regard,
correct.
why are you saying that he would be better overall than someone like myself for like de-radicalizing the youth? What?
Here,
What?
let's talk about our favorite flags.
Oh.
Like overall, what my
Yeah.
favorite flag?
Oh, dude.
Hezbollah. What raves does Hezbollah do?
Are you like how anyone can take this guy seriously after saying that on a fucking podcast? Like, of course, like, what do you think that that's one of the most extreme things you can say? Holy fuck!
Bro, what rapes did fucking Hamas do? What are you talking about? Well, Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, dog.
Just
If
listen to
Hezbollah
these
is a
things.
terrorist organization. America is the top terrorist organization.
Seek
Yes, it
help.
is, by the way. America is the top dog in
Mhm.
terrorism.
Sure.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do you like them or no?
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.
And then he wonders why a lot of people don't, like turn against him. Well, these things he's saying here are absolutely extremist things. Like these are not normal things. Your normal person would never ever have these opinions. Like it's just these are absolute radicalized bullshit. I mean, holy shit, man.
But they are a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
These
they
are
are.
the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way. Just so you know, these
Oh god.
musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I need the money, guys.
I'm gonna grab my food.
The fact that he has the audacity to sit and play terrorist propaganda on fucking stream in front of thousands of people is fucking disgusting. And there was absolutely no consequences for this as well. Keep that in mind. But well, there are, but not from Twitch, but from the actual people. Like people actually, of course, it alienates people. Obviously, like anyone with common sense actually would immediately disavow this and actually start even disliking you if you do stuff like this. And this is not the only time. This is not like a one-time fuck up. No, this is consistent with this guy. Ah, man.
I'm so confused. What is this?
Just look at this shit, man. He's leaving Nick alone watching a terrorist propaganda promotion. He's leaving the fucking room while playing a fucking terrorist propaganda video. Like, oh boy, how shameless can you be? I don't know how any streamer still associates with this guy. I don't understand it. I totally don't. It's like this guy is a fucking radical extremist that should be in probably in a mental asylum, maybe even if needed.
Did he leave me alone in a room with like
Yes, he did.
video playing?
Yes,
Hasan,
he did. That's
from
exactly
school,
what he did.
will never encourage you how to think and will never encourage you to look at things for yourself.
Of
You
course
can't
not.
go against his narrative. You can't go against anything his audience even thinks or
Yeah.
believes or
If you do, then you're an alt-right. Then you're automatically alt-right according to them. Like you get called alt-right. Like it's just so fucking pathetic.
says. Because you will be demonized. You'll be called fascist,
Yep.
Nazi, racist,
Yep.
anything that you
Alt-right
genuinely
as well,
are
as
not.
I said.
They will just label you if you don't agree with them. Whereas
Mhm.
you'll never really find this in Asmongold's audience.
Yeah,
This
no.
argument only works if you are someone who completely believes that Trump is a fascist. Sometimes I feel like people on the left can't actually comprehend that you can be for something someone does without actually being pro that person. I'm
Mhm.
telling you now,
That's what I was saying
Kamala
earlier too.
Harris won, and she was doing the same things that Trump is doing in her own way. I know that Asmongold would actually agree with what she's doing.
Yeah.
Another reason why I
Facts.
think that Asmongold actually gains quite a big audience is because he approaches things logically and with a lot of thought, whereas Hasan
Mhm.
Piker always approaches or seems to always approach things with emotions. He always
Yep.
hyperboles things or oversimplifies things in order to draw out
Or
emotion.
even completely misleads things, like taking things out of context, like just manipulates things, distorts the reality and like everything. Like he twists things to suit his narrative rather than saying what's true, you know? Or like giving out the facts like unfiltered, kinda. Like and of course that alienates a lot of people. Like what else am I supposed to say?
From his audience. He wants to anger people. He wants to create outrage on every topic he talks about. Whereas
Mhm.
Asmongold approaches things logically. He doesn't get emotional. He just lets things slide.
Of
When
course.
people are getting angry with him, frustrated with him, like Hasan is constantly attacking
Uh-huh.
him, constantly being frustrated at Asmongold. Asmongold
Yeah.
doesn't even care. He just
Yeah.
brushes it off. Asmongold looks at things with logic. And
Yeah.
Asmongold tackles
And common sense.
the argument. He looks at
Yes.
the issue and he meets the people there.
And he responds with arguments, like counter arguments. He doesn't respond with ad hominem and personal attacks and like all kinds of like stamps, like for example not the Nazi stamp or the racist card or like whatever. No, instead he actually responds with counter arguments to try to like debunk the other person's argument. That's a civilized way of doing it. So absolutely, it's there is a difference in how these two handles things, and it's pretty obvious who is the more mature and more respect-worthy person there, and it's definitely Asmongold.
This is another reason why I believe Asmongold doesn't want to debate guys like Hasan and
Makes a
Destiny.
lot of it makes
Hasan
so much
Piker and
sense.
Destiny will not go in to deal with the issue.
Yeah.
They will go in to try and attack Asmongold.
Yes.
They'll attack his character, who he is,
Exactly.
what he believes,
Exactly.
why he believes it. They
You're
will
right.
say that he is a hypocrite because he doesn't follow one specific ideology. They don't believe that a centrist approach is a good approach. They believe that you have to be ideologically driven, and I don't get it. So yes,
No, you
I,
don't have to be
as
that.
an average person, your average guy, would say that Asmongold is a lot safer and a lot better than guys like Hasan Piker.
Yeah.
Hasan Piker will always try to push an ideology and force an outcome, whereas Asmongold will always try to get you to think.
And sometimes people like Hassan will even manufacture up a reality that doesn't even exist just to fit their agenda. Like, he's a manipulator. He's a self-proclaimed propagandist. Like, what are we talking about here? He obviously will lie, will manipulate, will do all of this kind of shit just to try to fuel his agenda, which is absolutely pathetic. And that's not the kind of world I want to live in, I can tell you that.
And think for yourself.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you guys want to support this channel, I do have a Patreon. I've actually had quite a few people join recently, so I'm super grateful to
Very
you guys
cool.
for joining. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos regularly there as well, just about life updates, what's
Nice.
going on, and I post random things because I'm a musician as well. Sometimes I play a little bit of drums or something and I stick it up on there. I also answer any Q&As anyone might have, and yeah,
Cool.
I'm really enjoying this YouTube journey. Thank you guys for coming along with this. I do
Yep.
appreciate it.
Okay, guys. So that's it for this one. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember on your way out to subscribe, hit the like, and the notification bells, and I see you all later.